So I wanted to do a quick video because a new snapshot has been released earlier today for Minecraft 12w27a, I think it is. Now there's no new features in this, it's mainly bug fixes and optimization, but on the blog post that they released with the snapshot there's a lot of information about 1.3 and where things are going and the release date for 1.3 and stuff, so I thought I would quickly go over that. And then obviously read a little bit that's on the changelog for the snapshot. So the whole blog thing about 1.3 and the snapshot is broken up into a few different parts. The first part is the release date, which is August the 1st, 2012, which is in like less than a month. And it also says that a week before it gets released there'll be a release calendar date, which will most likely be the actual release, depending on if anyone finds any bugs or anything. And then it just goes on to say things about like 1.3 changes and stuff. The next part is called Minecraft 1.3 the good, which is obviously the good things about Minecraft 1.3. You know, things like the emeralds, the new books that you can write in, new terrain features, tripwire, new stairs and stuff. Oh, and there's obviously like the cocoa plants. Something about cauldrons as well, so I think there's some new stuff about cauldrons. Cool. So yeah, that's the good part, you know, it just basically goes on about what things are in 1.3. And then there's two different sections called the bad and the ugly, and this just basically goes on about the things that are in 1.3 that aren't very good. There's a few things that are missing from it, a few features that will be in 1.4 instead of 1.3, because they're problems like there's the lighting problem which causes black regions in the terrain. That's going to be pushed back to 1.4, that fixes, because there's obviously bugs with it at the moment and it's just too complicated to sort out. There's also the modding API isn't in the game yet, that's another thing under the bad section. To say that they had to do something to do with single player before they could start the API stuff, but now that the single player thing's done they can get onto the API, which is probably in 1.4 or 1.5. Now the other thing is something to do with single player. It says it's been turned into a shell that's basically on top of a background server, so single player isn't just like a single player thing, there is like a server running, a private server type thing. So it obviously requires more resources and the requirements for the game have increased a little bit, so that might cause lag. One thing I have noticed is that the rendering of the world seems to be a lot slower, and you know there's chunks in the world that just won't generate until you're on top of it. But they do say that that's going to be fixed in 1.4, so oh, and they're also going to do the optimization stuff in 1.4 as well. So in 1.3 the game might be a little bit slower. Frame might drop. Frame rate might drop. What else? Oh, but in this week's snapshot there is some optimization stuff in that, so it's not too bad. From what I can tell at the moment on my computer it runs perfectly fine, apart from the terrain generation that seems to be a lot slower than it used to be. And then it just goes on to summarise how 1.2.5, or the time between 1.2.5 and 1.3 is the longest update interval yet. And that's just because they changed the game engine and a lot of things have been messed around with. So expect bugs when 1.3 comes out. Maybe expect lower frame rates, I suppose, or just slower generating times in the terrain. There's also a link on their blog thing to a full list of 1.3 changes. And then it goes on to the snapshot changelog, which is bug fixes, optimizations, and it tells you to check your piston stuff because they've been changed a little bit and delays might need to be adjusted, but most things should still work, just with a little bit of adjusting on delays and stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, there's not really much in this snapshot, but there's a lot of information with the snapshot on their blog thing about a future release of 1.3 and a lot of things that's going to happen, so that you're prepared for anything that might happen whilst you're playing 1.3. Like as you can see now, it's kind of taking ages to load the world, and it's somewhat lagging a bit for some reason. But this will get fixed eventually. It's just something we're going to have to pull up with for now. But yeah, I'll leave all the links in the description. I'll also leave a link to the Reddit post, which has got a lot more on the bug fixes on this snapshot. It goes over all the things that have been changed in this particular snapshot. But yeah, I'll leave it there for now. So thanks for watching, and I shall see you next time. Goodbye.